Assalamualaikum, and very good morning. So today we record for our topic, which is the Ftir transform infrared spectroscopy. In short form we call it Ftir. So we are from group 2. So for our group members, Sam and me, and it's from SMB Rizwan. So he is from Ftir degree.
I'm Rizwan. My name is
So as you know, this is our mind map that we did submitted earlier.
The first part is introduction. Definition. FTIR or Fourier transform infrared spectroscopy is a technique used to identify materials by checking how they absorb infrared light. Each material creates a unique pattern like a fingerprint. For the second part, application, FTIR is used in identifying chemical what a substance is. For next, measuring how much of something is in a mixture. And the next one is studying polymers like a plastic or rubbers. For basic principles, FTIR shines infrared light on a sample that the sample absorbs some light, and this is show what it's made based on how the light is absorbed. Last but not least, physical principle. Molecules absorb specific infrared light which makes them vibrate like a stretching or bending. Each molecule has its own unique vibration pattern depending on its structure.
Next, I will explain the details about FTIR. First, molecules are excited to a high energy state when they absorb infrared radiation. In order to absorb infrared radiation, a molecule must undergo a net change in a dipole moment as a consequence of its vibrational or rotational motion. Reminder, not all vibration absorb infrared radiation. Diatomic gas molecule containing only one element do not absorb infrared radiation. There are two ways to determine dipole moment. First, the magnitude of the charge difference. Second, the distance between the two centers of charge and difference. Now, let's move on to the main mode of vibration. There are two main modes. First, stretching. For stretching, it involves a continuous change in the interatomic distance along the axis of the bond between two atoms. There are two types of stretching, which is symmetric stretching and asymmetric stretching. For symmetric stretching, there are two bonds vibrate in couple manner such that both shorten lengthen together. For asymmetric stretching, there are two bonds vibrate in couple yet opposite manner, one shorten while the second couple lengthen. As you can see in the mind map, it shows the picture of vibration modes of water molecule for symmetric stretching and asymmetric stretching. Let's go to the next main mode of vibration, which is bending. It characterized by a change in the angle between two bones. There are two types of bending, which is in-plane bending and out-of-plane bending. For in-plane bending, we have rocking and scissoring. Only scissoring have vibration modes of water molecule. The two bones bend up and down in couple manner. For out-of-plane bending, we have twisting and wagging. Last but not least, this is the stretching and bending vibrational modes for carbon dioxide. The symmetrical stretch of carbon dioxide is inactive in infrared because this vibration produces no change in the dipole moment in the molecule. And this is the fundamental vibration of water molecule.
For the basic component for instrumentation for FTIR is we have IR source, monochromator, sample cells, detector and also readout device. For the advantage for FTIR is firstly we can get the result quickly, we can find the tiny amount of stuff, give a clean and easy to read result, can tell apart failure emitting and also it no unwanted light messing up the readings.
Sample preparation is an important step in FTIR spectroscopy because it affects how clear and accurate the result will be. The preparation method depends on whether the sample is a solid, liquid or gas. For solid samples, the two main methods are the KBR palette and ATR, which is attenuated total reflectance. In the KBR method, the sample is finely ground with dry potassium bromide and pressed into a clear palette. They must be dry and handled carefully to avoid moisture interference. While ATR is quicker, just spread the solid onto the crystal but only scans the surface layer of the samples. Meanwhile, for liquid samples, they can be used neat, which are on their own or in solution. Neat liquids are placed between two IR transparent plates like an ACL to form a thin film. For the solution method, the sample is dissolved in a solvent that doesn't interfere IR such as Cl4 or CS2 and put into a liquid cell. For gas sample are prepared using a gas cell with a long path length to allow more interaction with the IR beam. The cell must be tightly sealed to avoid contamination by air, especially water vapor and CO2, carbon dioxide, which can affect the result. Before testing any sample, always run a background scan to remove interference from the environment. Keep tools clean, avoid touching sample surfaces, and store sensitive materials like KBR in dry places. That's all.
Okay, next for our unit is we want to explain about before at the accelerated we don't need. Right. For our unit again, we want to develop a regular method to detect me in people. After that, we want to use FTIR spectral copy with gain momentum energy, which is FPL expression. The reason why we use FTIR because we want to create a fast different way to find the weak in the base report. The last one is our objective to support another certification and protect consumer right. This is because this will help us to ensure the food is halal and protect the consumer aspect and business. So we can proceed for introduction. For your information, this unit is from Indonesia. So Indonesia is a Muslim country. So within that information, we're going to need more halal food. For our product is non-halal. So because of that, halal food is introduced in Muslim majority regions. So this because halal food is very important to Muslim, especially in Muslim majority countries. So for next, for Indonesian, they are famous with their traditional food, which is bakso. So in their bakso, one of the ingredients for meatball, but for us, try to replace it with non-halal, which is dog meat. So they're going to need a lot of consumers in Indonesia with the non-halal food. So for the next one is some are related with non-halal meatball like dog meat. This is because the problem is that some of these meatball are secretly mixed with the non-halal meat like dog meat. So next, raise health, religious and consumer right concern, and the final point is therefore we need good, affordable ways to find out if this is happening. I think that's it.
So the next method overview, first one is sample collection, which is beef, and the researcher obtain fresh beef and only from a market and of specific. So the house and the data this meat were used as the base ingredients for making the test sample. Next, meatball preparation, which makes the value ratio. Meatballs were prepared by mixing the meat into beef in different proportion each. Next, for liquid extraction, we using the forge method. The fat from each meatball sample was extracted using the forge method, which used a mix of chloroform and methanol. This method helps isolate fat from the meat mixture so that it can be analyzed more easily. Next, for FTIR measurement, the extract fat was analyzed using Fourier transform infrared spectroscopy FTIR. This identifies chemical bond by how they absorb infrared light. Steps for method overview for data analysis, whereas regression and statistical validation, the spectral data collected from FTIR was analyzed using partial least square, get as regression. Statistical method that helped in quantifying how much dog meat was present in each sample. Both calibration and validation models were developed.
So as a conclusion, there are three advantages for FTIR. So FTIR is a method is cost effective for you to find either the food has a lot of benefits or not. So for the second point, suitable for routine halal verification, and the final point is strengthen consumer protection and regulatory compliance. So that's it for the question.
Now let's move on to the integration of analytical chemistry and particle chemistry integration. With FTIR spectroscopy, which is to identify substances of the infrared absorption methods. We use liquid extract from the liquid because it carries this intelligent texture that differs slightly between meat and dog meat. Why FTIR? Because it is not destructive, fast, and requires a sample to match. We know method is scatter separation, which is puncture this squares is defined to spatial data and make predictive models. This helps us to build a strong calibration model to estimate how much the meat was present based on this spatial data. This model was created using statistical parameters like R square, red density, and iron density showing high accuracy. Why? Because it can handle complex datasets and helps predict composition. Meanwhile, organic chemistry integration focuses on the extraction of meatball targeting fats composed of dry acid glycerol fats. Liquid mainly composed of dry acid glycerol, which have functional groups such as esters, benzene, and C bonds in terms of like accessory components. We also apply the Forge method for liquid food, which is solvent gas using chloroform and methanol.
Okay, last but not least is reflection. We will apply diploma knowledge in real life in the color application. We first skill in FTIR, extraction, chemotherapy agency, and for the last one, we connect with food safety and engineering practice. So that's all from us. So after presenting our last slide, which is